And then I don't know if anybody else is coming, but we'll let them in if they join. Okay. Hi, everyone. We were saying last time, Sharmila had a great idea, and she said that we should do like a round table and introduce ourselves and just mention where we are. If we have PEMF just for our own healing, or if we are doing practice and sharing it with others or doing it as a business, what it's done for us or why we were introduced to it, or anything that you feel like sharing would be nice, so we can really feel a little more connected with each other, and we'll be seeing each other's faces more often, so we'll have a little bit of a background of one another. I can go in order of my screen. Lauren, do you want to start?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm Lauren Day. I'm in San Diego. I just have the PEMF right now for myself, and so far I'm not getting any help from it, but we're trying. So I've got a lot of physical issues and I need help, and Amanda and Conrad are trying their best.
Yeah. Layer by layer, we got to get to you. Oh, it just started raining and it's sunny, so it might be a little bit loud, but okay, Joan, do you want to go ahead?
Sure. I'm Joan McKellican. I live in Oceanside, California, which is part of San Diego. And I just use the PMF for myself and my close friends. I share it with them. Some of them are receptive, and so, they come and they go. They feel good results, but then they just don't follow through because it's a commitment to come to my house every day. I use it every day. I have had incredible results from it. I have hypertension, so my blood pressure is high. And then when I get on the PMF, after just 8 minutes, it'll lower my blood pressure down to the, good area. I'm trying to reverse some post-polio situation that I have right now, and where the nerves, my little dendrites are dying off because of overuse. Trying to reverse that, and I'm just working on it. I don't miss a day. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, my dogs come and lay under the table.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, same with ours.
You can feel the energy for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, you responded immediately. And that's the thing with energy medicine. We all respond differently. And what Conrad and I always say, we're like, it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when, layer by layer. So I'm really happy with your results, Joan. And Joan
too.
Son Bruce is a chiropractor here in Costa Rica, and I was trying to get a hold of him for like a year and a half. He's so busy. I'm like, you have to get here and try this. I know you're gonna love it. It's not like any other system. And when he came, he just looked at me. He was like, whoa, what was that? I'm like, I know. So he's incorporated into his practice here, and he's like a fanboy of our systems, and he's selling them as well and stuff. So
awesome.
Shar, I don't know if she's available. I know she's got a super busy day, so she might be kind of working. Oh, hi.
Driving, so I make sure no cops are following me. I was in Costa Rica, I was in Mexico, and now I'm in West Kelowna, British Columbia, Canada, where it's really cold. I actually bought PMF for myself originally, and I'm changing my field. I'm an entrepreneur. I have 3 businesses and a mom of 2, busy. PMF, actually, I'm working on a lot of people on doing massage with it and touch therapy, and it's been a game changer for many people. So, which is actually encouraging me to step into learning Rainier massage, which I'm going to register for next year, and basically leave what I do for a living and start doing this full time. The people I've treated have gotten great results. Great, it puts everybody into a very meditative, grounding state, which in what the Western world has a lot of problems with being able to stay there. So I'm seeing a lot for people, but I need to explore a lot more for myself. So I'm still in discovery. I've been playing a lot with the Kubius data and downloading it. And I have a digital background, so I'm going to be doing a lot of optimization with it and creating automation sequences and stuff like that. So kind of, yeah, I'm working on a lot of things on the back end, but
Cool.
the mat's been
Awesome.
great. It's a great modality in the house for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Shar. Okay, Marie.
Hello,
Hey.
I'm in Costa Rica. This is where I met Amanda. I tried PEMF, just for like general health and a tool to really help to keep stress and disease at bay. When I went through a burnout, one thing that really helped me was doing neurofeedback. So it was a tool that I liked a lot, but when I looked into purchasing the device, my naturopath told me against it because he had purchased it and they were not supporting the updates. So basically, he bought a machine for $10,000 that he couldn't use anymore, unless he bought the new one for $8,000. So
Happens a lot.
um,
Yeah.
that really put me off of like having technology, but they're not willing to help their customers and their clients. So yeah, when we tried the PEMF, we felt it was just an amazing tool for us, like the grown-ups, but for the kids as well. And the kids do gravitate to it, and they get more than we do as grown-ups. And everyone that's tried it has loved it. So I use it for myself, but I see myself gravitating towards showing more about it and talking more about it on social media. I already have one friend who purchased it, and I'm hoping just to add more people to that.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Marie. And I was going to say one thing before I forget is that is an amazing feature of Sysbonic systems, because I've heard this from other people too with other systems. Anytime there's an update or an upgrade, you have to pay for it. So our recent update where they added the longevity and the cell training fast start programs, they would charge you for that, or even a monthly fee. But Sysbonic will never do that, so it's actually quite amazing. And often if you don't do the updates, your system starts to act funny. It's not happy anymore. It gets all glitchy. I always know when there's an update coming because my system starts acting funny. And then sure enough, like a week later, they mention that there's an update coming or an upgrade. And other companies will say, well, if you don't do the upgrade, then your system's not going to work properly. And then the upgrade is like a $500 or even thousands. So another great thing about Swiss Bionic. Okay, Kathy.
My name is Kathy. I'm in New Brunswick, Canada right now. I also have a home in Niagara Falls, Ontario. So my husband and I travel back and forth. I've been in the holistic healing space for probably 3 decades now. I do several different modalities. Some doctor at some point told me I had MS when I was 30, but I proved him wrong. And that's what I work on now, sharing this with everybody else, everything that I do. I've been a successful matchmaker at one point in my life. And you caught on. And now I just heal.
Right.
Oh my God, so funny.
It was
Yeah.
it was Kathy who gave me Amanda's number all
Yeah.
those years, 20 years ago.
Yep. I was like, nope, I'm not calling any guys. I'm done with relationships. I'm not dating anybody. I'm moving to Toronto. I was like, he's different. Okay, fine. I'll give it a shot.
I'm also an intuitive, and I knew this was right.
You.
Yeah.
Yeah, 20 years ago.
That's a good story.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as I've known Kathy, she was always a healer, always being called to heal the body in natural ways, always super awakened. And yeah, we used to work together years and years ago. So for me, I was introduced to PEMF therapy when we were just coming out of lockdown in Canada. And I went to a very dark place during lockdown. Canada, cold, homeschooling, 3 boys in French, a language I didn't even speak, trying to work from home. I got really depressed and I was in fear, lots of anxiety. Conrad was a paramedic in Toronto, so he was gone 15 hours a day, working lots of overtime. A lot of people were calling in sick. They needed extra medics. I was on my own. It was awful. And I had eczema, acne, brain fog, chronic fatigue, migraines. I just didn't feel well. Depressed and anxious was my biggest complaints. And when I went back to work, when they reopened everything, my colleague said to me, sister, like, what happened to you? You look awful. I'm like, honestly, I'm a shell of my former self. I don't feel good. This is not life. And it didn't feel like anything was going to be getting better anytime soon. And he said, I just bought this healing system. You should come over and try it. So I was like, okay, I'll try anything. I went over to his house, laid on the mat on the floor. His cat was walking all over me, had the goggles on for an hour. I fell asleep. I went off. He just got it too. Like I think he didn't know, like probably shouldn't put somebody on their first time for an hour with the goggles. I even might have been on the wrong end. I even might have maybe had the cord at my feet, which is even more powerful. But regardless, I had a very profound experience. So it was within 2 weeks, my acne was almost all gone. My eczema had cleared up. I felt centered and grounded. I had so much clarity. I think my pineal gland, my third eye, literally unlocked in that session because I had the worst migraine healing crisis I've ever had in my life. I thought I was having a brain aneurysm. I told Conrad I might not wake up in the morning. Tell the boys I love them. I love you. I'm going to bed. I may not wake up. I had such a horrible headache. But that was the lift, I guess. You have to sometimes feel it to heal it. Sometimes it gets worse before it gets better. I did have worse acne in those 2 weeks. First, I broke out really bad. Everything was coming out, but then it got better. And my anxiety went away. My depression went away. I've never felt better. I can't even say I felt better in my 20s. I don't think I ever felt so good. So then right away I told Conrad, we have to get one of these. We should all be using this. And this is just the beginning. I don't even know what else this can do. And I need to share this with others. And I have it to thank for my big spiritual awakening, for me to say, let's leave Canada, let's go to Costa Rica, let's do something different. Yeah, for me, it was literally body, mind, and spirit that unlocked for me with this system. And then Conrad was pretty skeptical, actually. He was like, oh, it might help a little bit, but okay, I trust you. I trust you. You know, he never wants to stand in the way of what I want to do, but then you started using it.
Yeah. So like Amanda said, I was a medic for 13 years in Toronto. And when we came here, I thought I said bye to the medical world. I came here, had a job lined up as a teacher, and I was like, okay, cool, I can do this now. I'm not doing any medical stuff anymore. That's finished. But then Amanda got into PEMF, and I've always been a student of science. I've loved science my entire life and medicine. So I kind of just slipped into the background role in our team of kind of education and the medical part of it, because once you're in it for so long, you'll never lose this. Even just the communication skills, like, you know, Lauren and I, we've had conversations, and I feel like when I'm chatting with you, Lauren, like I'm back in the truck. You know, I'm sitting down with you in the ambulance. We're having our conversations. Tell me what's going on. How could we remedy this? There must be a solution to this. And you, honestly, I never told you that, but you bring me back to when I'm working. I really, really felt really at home with you, because I always really enjoyed working with people that were older than me. I got a lot of value out of that.
Yeah,
So I really
you're always
enjoyed it.
really good at it too.
I really enjoyed those conversations, trying to get to the bottom of something. But then I kind of digressed there for a second, but we came to Costa Rica with the system, and I've had 3 previous back injuries as a medic. You're always lifting dead weight, to be honest, out of awkward positions, a bathtub, in an alley. So I've had 3 back injuries, and I was good coming here. And then we were here for maybe a month, and I just bent over to pick up a shell out of the ocean, and I threw my back out. And I said, what am I going to do? I don't have my physiotherapist. And I said, oh my gosh, I can get some real world data. I have a PMF system and I'm in substantial pain.
Yeah, because
I was kind of
we didn't
almost
have it for that
excited.
long yet. We only had it for a few months, and
We've only
I
had
was
it
the
for a
one
few
using it all
months.
the time. He
Yeah.
wasn't really using it yet.
And I was kind of excited to test it because it's me and I don't have to hear from somebody that it works. I'll know if it's going to work or not.
Yeah.
And I went on the regimen. I did it 4 times a day. After the first day, the pain was probably down by about 30 to 40%. And I think after 4 to 5 days, it was done completely. Mind you, I was on it 4 times a day. I followed the exact eye guide for low back pain, and that was done, and that was it. So I was like, okay, I'll get behind you with this. This is the real deal, and it's incredible. And how can this not be in everyone's home?
Yeah.
And or like this needs to be a liner in every hospital bed.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like what this can do to the population. It's really
That will never
substantial.
happen.
Never happen, of course. But it's really substantial and incredible. And so to be part of this, to get behind something like this that can change the world and to take pain from people and awaken them. And yeah, we're all in.
Yeah. And then we were here in Costa Rica, and we're not used to the bugs here and stuff. And I was outside and something bit me. I didn't know what it was. And I was like, oh, I don't feel so good all of a sudden. And I had this really bad pain in my hip. And I started breaking out in hives, and I was getting dizzy and hot flashes. And I was like, I think I'm going to throw up. I don't feel well. And the boys are like, Mommy, I just saw this like really bright red ant run down your leg. And we realized it was most likely a velvet ant, which is, I think, the 4th most painful bite like in the world. It was stinging so much and swollen. And I was deep breathing. And he's like, let's go inside, get on the mat, get on the mat. And as soon as he put me on the mat, I was like, weren't even thinking about just 25 intensity, 24 minutes, press start. Almost instantly, like your hives are literally dissolving.
Right before my eyes.
His eyes was going away. And I was like, my nausea is lifting. And yeah, it was really cool. And I mean, our boys, they get stung. We put the spot on them right away, or swimmers here from surfing. We can avoid antibiotics. We put coconut oil, put the spot on, not go to the doctor. So it's done really miraculous things for just our family alone, never mind what we see for other people.
Yeah.
And what I wanted to talk to you today before we get into brain entrainment is a lot of people, they come to me, you know, when they want to do the business and stuff like that, and they don't know where to begin or how to share this. It feels really overwhelming sometimes and really daunting. And I think it always comes back to remembering your why. And remembering your why is to do it as a business, but also for Lauren and Joan to focus on for your own healing is always remembering your why and focusing on that, because, and this is going to tie into the brain entrainment, how our brains communicate with our physical body and that connection between, and the story we tell ourselves. But when you get on the mat, make it like almost like a sacred ritual, you know, as you would open the space and close the space. I'm honoring my body. I'm trusting my body has the ability to heal itself. The reason why I'm doing this is because I see what it does for others, and I believe my body has the power to heal itself. It just needs that push or that nudge, or layer by layer, we have to remove the blockages that have piled on over the years. And I trust that I will get there. And I trust that my body's working hard, although I might not feel it yet. My body is doing the work, and I'm going to trust that. And open up your space. So when you're laying on the mat, you're really envisioning, you know, your cells opening up, your cells are clearing. They're healthy. Whatever doesn't belong is lifting out. Like the power of the mind is so incredible. And you can do this for your why, for your healing every time. Why am I doing this? Because I want to live long. I want to feel good. I want to have longevity. I want to feel myself reversing. I want happy aging. And I believe I can do this. And this is my why. And that's why I make it a part of my daily routine. This is why I get it on every day. We have one of the best systems in the world. We should be using it every single day. And then for business, since it looks so different for all of us, our why is very different. Shar is super driven in business, but her why is she wants to feel good. And when we have faced the darkness and those lower points of the depression and the anxiety and just not feeling well and feeling like there's no way out, because we've been in those states, we have more empathy, and it drives us when we come out of them to help others to feel that too, and to empower others. So always focusing on the why. For me, it's just really making sure everyone understands that they are powerful beings, that we are energetic beings that respond to energy. There's so much more to us than this physical form. And really honoring your body, your self-love, your self-care. I am choosing to heal. I'm choosing me. I'm choosing to lay there for 25 minutes and not answer any phones and just go within, meditate, listen to beautiful music, really honor my healing, and be that peace in the world that shares that with others, something that has no harm can come from it. And how it's such a win-win for everyone. More people get healed, the planet gets more healing, everyone receives more abundance, we sell more systems, we make more money, more people receive healing, they can have their own business and feel empowered, and it keeps going on and on and on. So whatever your why is, maybe like take a moment to write it down. And some people are like, you know what, I don't really know what my why is. Good question. Why do I do this? Why did I come to this in the first place? Why did I go to Amanda for healing in the first place? And why do I want to share this? Yeah. And focusing on that really keeps us in that clear direction, whether it's for our own healing or for our business. And yeah. On that note, so far, does anybody have any questions or want to add anything before we dive into the brain? The brain, as that guy in the videos would say, and so spot on.
Yeah. Everyone that's here, how much do we know about the brain entrainment system?
The goggles.
The goggles.
I use them every day.
Okay.
And I love it. I love it.
Me
Okay.
too. I can't imagine doing PMF without it.
Yeah.
I don't either. I can't even. Actually, one day Cheryl called. So right when I was doing my session, so I didn't use the goggles or the eyes. I just laid on the mat while I did that. And my blood pressure did not decrease.
Ah, interesting.
Wow.
Every time I'll get on it, my blood pressure will be high, but when I get off of it, it's way low. This time it did not decrease. I needed the brain entrainment for that.
Yeah, and that just goes to show the connection between the brain and the physical body.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I know.
Cool.
Yeah, Bruce always says, he's like, I know the mat is great. He's like, but when you put the goggles on, it's just an experience for your entire being and closing that,
Absolutely.
yeah, that gap
Yeah.
that might be there.
Yeah.
So my question is, every section that I use, when I put the goggles on, it's different. The ears are pretty much the same. It's all these same beat, but the eyes are different. Are they connected with what I'm plugging into the eye guide?
It's actually a separate entity altogether. It's a separate.
So I'm
No?
going to interrupt you.
Okay.
It depends. If you're in a fast start program,
Oh, that's right.
that
Yeah.
is a pre-programmed program into the goggles.
Okay.
But if it's
Okay.
not a fast start program, then the rest is all manual setting for the goggles, for the frequency. So you choose what organ clock, what colors you want, the brightness of it. It's completely separate.
Intensity.
Exactly.
Yeah. And the reason for
And
that,
the programs I use are all preset, so they're
So
set to go along
you're
with
good to go.
whatever.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, totally.
yeah, because some people will come in with multiple things going on and they might say, I'm suffering from depression, but I also have rheumatoid arthritis. So that way we can program the colors for depression and focus the PMF on the rheumatoid arthritis. Although we can also do rheumatoid arthritis in the goggles, we need to worry about the depression as well. So that's where we can kind of play around and change it. But if you're in like the Balance Fast Start program, then the brain entrainment will be switching between morning and night and evening and changing the colors to get you more in balance, for example.
Right.
Yeah, if that makes sense. But
Yeah.
I mean, Wolfgang, the CEO of, if I ever say Wolf, he's the CEO of Sysbionic, but he always says to almost treat them as two separate healing modalities that happen to go so harmoniously together.
Okay, but it's not programmed that way. just happen, it's happenstance?
No, yeah, like if you, let's say you go into the eye guide and you choose chronic pain, the goggles are not going to be set for chronic pain. You have to go into the goggles, like you'd have to look up the chromotherapy in the back office and look up what would be the best color for chronic pain, and then change it to blue, for example. And then if you have high blood pressure, you'd want to, you know, avoid orange, for example. That is the one color that can raise the blood pressure. So it's really good to look at the colors and get to know the colors. Because yeah, often there'll be something that's, you know, cooling or sedative for the color if you're experiencing anxiety, but you might not want that if you're using it in the morning. So you might want to find something that's a little bit better for the brain entrainment in the morning that's not going to put you to sleep, but help calm your anxiety, for example, by putting it on balance. So you can really play around with it.
Go into the back office to where?
If you go under flyer,
To go, what are we looking for?
yeah, if you log into the back office and you go in the drop down menu on the left hand side, and if you hit flyer, there,
Why?
flyer, you'll see like manuals, forms, flyers, presentations. So under flyer, you'll find a bunch of different resources such as bone metabolism, circulation, and brain entrainment. And that's where you're going to see all the different colors.
Yeah, the document is actually called A Brief Introduction into Brain Entrainment.
Yeah, a brief introduction to brain entrainment. There's actually
I can even
two-
load this on Good Vibrations.
Yeah, we can post it on Good Vibrations. There's two.
Can you sent me once, Conrad, the color chart?
No, that was something different. I will send you this. It's called A Brief Intro to Brain Entrainment. I'll actually just put the documents, the ones that you need, that tell you the colors and their therapeutic effect. That's all you really need. And then you can choose what color you want.
And yeah, there's two different documents in the back office pertaining to brain entrainment, but one actually gives you the color and the description. So you can go through both of them. And another good book, I think Lauren has this book.
I have that.
Kathy, yeah. The Secret Language of Your Body. But in the back of it, it also has a lot about chromotherapy. This book's just kind of my Bible go-to. There's a lot about the brain entrainment and different colors in here as well. And it mentions a little bit more than even our back office mentions. It says about pink and purple, gold. So I recommend this book as well. It helps you understand the connection between the emotional state and what happens to our body physically, and how everything is connected. The emotional is connected to the physical.
I can go briefly over what brain entrainment is and how our system works and why it works. There'll be just a little bit of background. I'll just go over quickly on brain waves. If anyone's interested in me doing that, I can do that right now. So basically, like our heart, our brain is highly electrical. Like we have billions of neurons, and within those neurons, there's trillions of connections. And all these signals are sent electrically. So our brain is very, very electrified all the time. And our different states of the day, whether we're relaxed, we're asleep, we're up busy doing things, we're kind of in a relaxing mode, those brain waves all kind of average into 4 categories. If you'd ever go for a hydroencephalogram, where just like an ECG for your heart, there's also an EEG where they put all these probes on your head and they watch your brain waves. And your brain waves always fall into 4 categories. There's beta brain waves, there's alpha brain waves, theta, and delta. Those are the 4 most common brain waves. And just briefly, the beta brain waves, that's your normal waking consciousness. We're in beta during the day. We're paying our bills, we're going to work, we're doing things. Alpha is you're awake, but you're relaxed. You close your eyes, associated with daydreaming and visualization. I'm just reading some notes here too. Theta is light sleep and dreaming, and then delta is your deep, deep sleep. So of course, with all of our busy lives, those are never in check as where they should be and the most of what we need of them. But when you do brain entrainment, so entrainment is a physics principle basically where one rhythm can be in sync with another rhythm. And the system wants to be in sync with the other rhythm because it's less work. So in a nutshell, if you are at home and you're getting ready for bed, but you're still super busy or hyper because you did something, you had a lot of work to do, you put yourself into a delta brainwave entrainment session, your brainwaves, they may be in beta still, but they will sink into the delta that the goggles are trying to sink your brain into. Does that make sense at all?
You lost me.
Okay.
It's feeding your brain.
One example of a natural cycle that fall into each other, if two women hang out with enough of each other, their menstrual cycles will sync in with each other,
Mm-hmm.
right?
That's an energetic example.
That's an energetic example. Fish in the ocean will swim in synchronicity. It's easier to swim with a group than to do your own thing, right? If you jump into a river, you're not going to swim against the river. It's easy to swim with the river. So if you have two energetic systems, they want to fall into synchronicity because it's easier to go together. But we may not be in the brainwave that we should be in because of our lives. So the goggles put out the frequency that we choose that we want to be in. And I use the sleep example as the easiest because a lot of people have problems sleeping. So if you're not tired, you can give yourself a session. And on the nighttime session for the organ clock, the flashing of the lights, that frequency is the delta frequency of the brain when it's sleeping.
So your brain will
So
match
your
that.
brain waves are going to match up with the waves of the goggles, and the goggles are telling your brain to sleep. So your brain waves are going to match up. I do this because that's a wave. Your brain waves are going to match up with the delta waves that are coming out of the goggles. And that's how synchronicity happens. And when you do this regularly, that's when brain entrainment occurs. But that's just with the lights. That's just with the phototherapy. Brain entrainment also occurs auditory with the binaural beats. If you play different tones, which the system does, it plays a different tone in each ear, which leads to hemispheric cohesion is what they call it. Most people's brains work differently. They're not working together. Someone may have a more autistic brain, artistic and creative, and someone has very analytical in their business and mathematics and stuff like that. But we're meant for our brains to work together. So if you constantly do the binaural beats, they're playing two different tones. It's training your brain to work together all the time. And that's another mode of brain entrainment.
So majority of the time our brainwave is spent in beta, especially if you live in North America. We have lots of distractions. We're living outside of ourselves. Look here, look here, look here. To-do list, gotta go, and that is the go, 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 do. I call it the 3D brainwave. Pay the bills, I have to do this. And since we spend most of our time there, that's where we get that disconnect. And that's what eventually leads to anxiety, depression, that beta brainwave. So most of the time when you're going on the PEMF mat, you want to get out of the beta brain waves because we already spend most of our time there anyways. We want to train our brain to spend more time in the alpha, especially during the day. So even if I use the PEMF system in the morning, I change the organ clock for afternoon because I don't want to be in the beta brain waves. Some performers, athletes, they will specifically choose morning organ clock performance, activation, those ones are in the beta because they need to be on high alert. They need to really be concentrated and focused. Or if you have an exam coming up in your teenager, you might want to specifically put it on that so you can concentrate. But if you're using it for healing and for overcoming ailments, we want to get out of the beta brainwaves. There's a lot of other.
And when Amanda says beta on our system, that is morning. That's the morning organ clock.
Yeah.
Alpha is the noon, theta is the evening, and the delta is the night. Like a lot of people don't know this, but you can choose your frequency. That's another option to choose when you're using your system.
Yeah.
You can't choose a specific frequency, but you can choose a frequency range.
According to the.
Like if you
time of day.
choose the nighttime organ clock, no matter what time of day it is, it can be 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You can go into the manual setting and you can choose the night organ clock. That is going to put out the delta brainwaves and the delta frequency from 0.1 to 3 hertz. That is deeply relaxing and could potentially put you to sleep because that is the nighttime frequency. But maybe you're a college student and you have an all-nighter because you have an exam the next day. You could give yourself a morning brain entrainment session at midnight. And that's going to give you that 13 to 25 hertz frequency of waking consciousness, problem solving, staying awake, getting work done.
Every pilot should have one, flight attendant, you know, when you have to get up at 1 a.m. and you're so tired. I remember that used to be my life. I wish I had this. I could have changed the frequency so I could be alert in the middle of the night.
It's almost like you have a system that has brain suggestibility. You can make the machine to tell your brain what to do kind of when talking about consciousness and awakening being and cognitive thinking kind of thing.
There is
Can I divert the question?
Yeah.
If it's too off track, tell me, or if it's on track, tell me. This morning I had my worst disaster yet. I did my exercises. I got on the table at 8 o'clock to do my exercises, and I got to the PEMF at 9:20. And I thought I was being smart the last couple of days. My chiropractor wanted me to do inflammation because I've been really struggling with pain. So instead,
I found this on the web.
I don't know what that was.
Originally I had done our hybrid sensitive 10-minute,
Yeah.
for my blood pressure, and then did inflammation, and everything was going up, my blood pressure. So I thought the last couple of days I've done inflammation on the iGuide and then our sensitive 10-minute hybrid thing. 153 my blood pressure today. This is ridiculous. I'm gonna kill myself if I keep using this machine at this rate. What's going on? I mean, I'm thinking about your clocks, but I don't think that it was in the morning. I don't know.
If you're using it in the morning, then we need to try changing the Oregon clock to noon or evening and see what happens. And we also
For information,
for any setting, yeah. And we
I
also
can't get on the iGuide, right? I can't change that.
no, you can. I'll show you how. Well, no, because now if she's in iGuide as she's going through,
You can change
you
your
can now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can. I'll take a video and I'll show you how to do it. So 2 things. You have to take your blood pressure before PMF and after to see if it's actually
I did that and wasn't making any difference.
It was the same? Okay, so it's not that the PMF is making it go higher.
Hold on one second.
Yeah.
So sorry, Lauren, it made it go higher or it was high before and high after? There was no
Oh,
change.
it was going up. It was going up.
Okay, and what was it before your session?
It was like, it was lower and then it was higher.
Right.
I don't want to bother everybody with that stuff.
No, I
but
mean, we're having this call. We all have something to share. Maybe someone else can add something. So that's why we do these.
Mhm.
got the numbers. I'll go get the numbers while you're
Okay,
talking.
if there is a difference
Do you
in
use
stuff,
any
I just want to
essential
make sure
oils?
that-
She had a really bad experience when she was in the hospital with essential oils, and she's pretty put off by them, I think I recall, Lauren.
Who? Oh,
You, yeah.
no, just lavender. Just
Okay.
If you get Lang Lang from
I've
you
got
can buy
Lang
it
Lang.
online at Revive.
I've got Lang Lang.
If you smell that, not one bought at Walmart, like
I have Lang Lang from an importer. I've got Lang Lang. I know
And-
what I'm doing.
if you it has to be real or it's not going to work. So you have to smell it for 5 minutes before it will lower your blood pressure.
Okay.
If you smell it for 5 minutes, do your blood pressure, smell it for 5 minutes, and then do your blood pressure again.
What's it called?
Okay.
Kathy?
Ylang ylang. We have it.
Oh,
We
yeah,
have it too. He just doesn't know. It smells like a beautiful flower. Yeah, there's different things we gotta try. We gotta try getting her out of the beta brainwave in the morning and into the alpha
Alpha or theta. Okay.
theta. Yeah. She took it before and after, and it is going up. We can also email Wolf because I never hear about this happening with PMF with it raising the blood pressure. It's very rare. So
No,
maybe
exactly, because actually what
Wolf-
PMF is it's vasodilator. It actually makes your vessels get wider. So if the vessels get wider, the volume drops and the pressure should go down.
it's very rare that this would happen. I even posted in our group, in the mastermind group, and it doesn't seem like anybody else has ever experienced that. So, yeah. So the next step, Lauren, is I'm going to take a video and show you how to change the organ clock, even when you're in the iGuide and even when you're doing a morning session.
Okay.
And one more thing I wanted to mention is I get bored listening to it's okay. Listening to the binaural beats, the factory binaural beats. So I purchased a program called EquiSync, where you can choose other binaural beat frequencies, ambient, like rain sounds, nature, and it still does the brain entrainment. You can choose what brain waves you want to be in, but listen to something a little bit more enjoyable. And this particular, and I'll post that in the Good Vibrations as well. It's not connected to PMF, it's just a separate thing, but I really love it. That particular brain entrainment program for the binaural beats doesn't even give you an option for beta brain waves. It says we spend most of our time in beta. We're not putting it in here. Why do we want to even get you in beta? So they even have gamma brain waves in there to listen to, which is like the very deep meditative state that monks can get to.
Yeah.
For us, it's very hard for us to get there unless you're really used to meditating regularly. So I'll share that as well, but it just goes to show the importance of us trying to get out of that beta brainwave. So Lauren, like with being stressed about your health and things like that, maybe, and then doing it in the morning and it's in the beta brainwaves, maybe that is contributing to it because we've already put you on sensitive. And like I said, we don't hear about this happening. So we have to try to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, and being on sensitive, that's just the intensity. The frequency is still high because you're on the morning session, right? You want to drop that frequency. So either get it onto a noon
That's right.
session or an evening.
Organ clock
And then you're
video.
dropping the frequency also.
I've got numbers here that show before and after PMF and goes up, and I got numbers where it goes down. So
Okay.
I don't think there's any. I got a morning where it went down from 114 to 133. I've got afternoons where it went up from 114 to 133.
Mm-hmm.
Got afternoons where it went down 158 to 138, 136 to 118 at night.
Lauren, how is
At
that?
night.
How is the bottom number? Because that's your systolic What's the diastolic?
On the one where it went
All of them.
Bef-
Like what are your bottom numbers?
58 to 59 when it went,
Mm.
the blood pressure went up, but the diastolics, the lower number stayed the same, 58 and 59.
So
I
there's one
Got it,
so Lauren, I'm just
in
gonna
an
one
afternoon.
thing about your blood pressure. I'm not a cardiologist, but I know blood pressures. I took them for 13 years. And all the training that I have, and I mean, you're not hearing this from me because I'm not a cardiologist. I want to be very specific here. The top number is not the scary one. It's the bottom number. The top number is when the heart is pumping. The top,
When you've had 26 strokes, numbers important.
I totally understand what you're saying, but it's that bottom number. That's when the system is at rest. That top number is when the heart is pumping. That's not at continuous at 158. The bottom number is the continuous number. If that bottom number is always at 80, I mean, always at 100, always at 110, that is scary stuff for sure. But if that number sounds like it's low to me, and it's the top number that's getting high,
The numbers been pretty good. The bottom numbers been pretty good. In the 60s, 50s. It's good.
yeah.
Yeah, maybe you can text some of those over to the chat we have with Conrad. Yeah. Let's go back to brainwave and wrap it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even take a picture of what you wrote down, Lauren. Just take a picture of the notebook so you don't have to text it all, and then just send us the picture of it. And then I'll send you that video how to change, because it sounds like also that it was going down when you were doing the night setting. So now I'm thinking of changing the brainwave to be evening, at least afternoon when you're using it in the morning, and see how that goes. And then Kathy, do you have
Okay, it's a
any
good idea.
other ideas?
Do it.
Yang Ling, she can try for 5 minutes before. Any other thoughts?
Affirmations. It sounds like if she's getting on, that's all what's in her mind is my blood pressure is going up. My blood pressure. Well, as soon as you say my blood pressure is going up, there it goes. It's going up.
Worry.
It's the negative feedback.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The story we're telling ourselves,
Yeah.
we're expecting it. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
what I mean about the why. So the focus on the reason why Lauren is doing PMF, your why every time before you go on is my blood pressure is going to go down. I am peaceful. I am calm. I'm in a good space. I am safe in my home. You know, and
I am healing.
I am
I am
healing. My
healing.
body is healing. My blood pressure is going down. This is going to be
I
awesome.
love myself. I love myself.
Yeah.
I am
That's a
healing.
good one.
I am healing.
Yeah.
I am healed. I am on a journey. Don't mention your blood pressure going anywhere. Don't mention blood pressure. As
Yeah.
soon as your mind goes to blood pressure, switch it back.
And this
just
goes again with the
saying,
brain.
I am healing. I
Yeah.
love myself over and over.
That's part of the brain entrainment. Absolutely. One more thing I'm going to add to the group. There is this, when I was at the Untamed, I was at a festival, a healing festival in Costa Rica called Untamed, Rewilding. We did a breathwork session. And there was a song. There's 2 songs that you can actually listen to when you're on the PMF. And it is just that. My body is healing, and she's singing it, and she's saying it over and over again. And I've had a couple other people that are kind of in the same situation where they're, you know, when we get in our heads and we tell ourselves these stories, and it's for about half an hour of that over and over and over again. And afterwards, the feedback has been like, wow, what a difference. I feel that I'm more connected within, I'm trusting my body. So I'll post those in the chat too. There's one called Allowing and the Healing Song. So maybe don't
You have to realize it's not one thing. It's a whole modality of things that just the PMF won't heal. It's
a cycle
everything from what we eat, what we put in our body, to what we think, everything we say, that is either fuel or it's killing us. So everything we think has to be positive. So every time we go to a negative thought, we have to switch it right away to a positive thought.
And don't attach to
We don't think of that that's hurting us.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Yeah. The untethered soul, like when those voices come in our head, the story we tell ourselves, we're like, okay, I see you, I hear
Become the
you.
observer. You're
I'm
not that
not
person.
attaching to that. I'm witnessing you. And now you can leave and I choose what I tell myself, just kind of getting out of that. It takes a little bit of practice.
We've all heard of manifesting
through
things and praying for things and wishing for things. It's manifesting things that we want. We'll start manifesting what we have by saying it in the present. I have good health. I love myself. I am healed.
Yeah.
Say
I
things
deserve to feel
in
good.
the positive, but keep saying it over and over, and you'll see it works. It really works. You could be as doubtful as you want, but just keep doing it. And you'll say next week, next month is, wow, there's been a shift.
Yeah. Consistency. It's all energy. What we put out, we're going to get back. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Kathy.
That's really good. I like that.
She's been saying this stuff since I've met her.
That's so good.
Yeah. She always
Love it.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to finish?
I know
It's getting really loud here.
entrainment thing is kind of confusing, but think of it as two different systems almost. If it's not a fast start program, it really is two different systems. The brain entrainment thing is incredible because our brain is just an incredible piece of us that has power, and everything we see and we touch, this is just, it's electrical signals from our eyes to our brain that's telling us what's happening. You know what I mean? Everything around us is because of our brain, and our brain can really do wonders for our body. So it just goes back to what the Kathy says and everything. Like, if we're in those proper brain waves, and this system can help us get us there. That's why this entrainment is such a powerful tool. Put that with the PEMF, like it really is a six-dimensional system. You have the chromotherapy of the color, you have the flashing lights, which is the phototherapy at a specific frequency. You have the auditory binaural beats, which is the hemispheres, bringing the hemispheres together. You have the far infrared if you have a prime. You have the square wave, and you have the triple sawtooth. That is your 6 dimensions of healing.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are taking advantage of that regularly with using words like Kathy is talking about, and eating well and moving and using plant medicine,
Mm-hmm.
you can be an unstoppable force for healing.
Mm-hmm.
Like nothing can get in your way.
Yeah. Just stay consistent.
100%.
Yeah. And those three.
One more thing.
Mhm.
If instead of saying this isn't working, PEMF isn't working, ask yourself it in a question. Say, what can I do to help this? Why is this not working? Your brain works better when you ask it a question. When you give it something like, this is not working, that's
What
a
can I change?
negative
What can I change
affirmation,
so it works?
and that's what your brain will do.
Yeah. What can I change so this works?
Pardon?
You can say to yourself, what can I change so this works for me? So I'm going to change what I listen to, what I say to myself. I'm going to change the organ clock. I'm going to make these changes because I believe this is going to work for me, because I see
Always ask a question. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't state it in an affirmation as a fact. Ask a question. Why is this not working for me?
Yeah.
Why is this not doing?
Or like,
what can I do to help this?
To make this work?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And stay positive,
That's my little tidbit.
Yeah. Thank you.
If you have any more questions about brain entrainment, just post it in the chat and I'll try to get some answers.
I think everyone's frozen. I don't. You're cute.
We're
Okay, we're back. It's pouring rain here. I think we lost the signal. This is like Pura Vida weather.
In the jungle, Amanda.
Yep. We sure are. That's great. Thank you for that help, Kathy. And now we have a plan moving forward, Lauren. So let's think positive. We're gonna try some new things.
Affirmations.
Yeah, and I'm gonna,
Organ clock.
yeah, we got some good stuff.
And if you have any more questions about the entrainment, post it in the group and I'll get an answer for you. And it is tough to wrap our heads around, but
So
it's incredible.
frequencies and energies. Oh, what I was gonna say is our 6-dimensional system, 3 of those dimensions are just for the brain. So it really,
It's home how powerful
Yeah.
it is. Yeah.
yeah, it's done wonderful things for us. Even my middle son, he's so sensitive. Anytime there is a full moon or a solar flare or an eclipse, or it's Monday and he has to go back to school, the trigger for the
Just Monday.
anxiety. I can see it coming. He starts holding his stomach. He doesn't know how to explain it. And then finally we're like,
Manifesting physically, like he
it's
has.
anxiety.
Yeah, that's
True.
me.
Oh yeah,
That's
running
me.
to the bathroom. I tried all the pre and probiotics. I'm like, this is all emotional. There's nothing wrong with him. It's all anxiety. And I put him on the mat. I put it on orange. He falls asleep 24 minutes. If it's morning time, which it usually is, I put him right into the evening for the organ clock, put him on orange, 10 intensity. He opens his eyes. He's like, oh, mommy, look, there's a bee's nest. Like it is gone. And he's a little kid. He doesn't have a bunch of layers of things piled on. He can, overcome it quickly, but it works. And Lauren, you have to trust your body. If you just have multiple things going on and then layer by layer by layer, your body is working on things. And you really have to trust that. Although we want to see certain results, there might be something more imperative going on. And your body says, I'm going to take care of that first before I get to that. So try to have trust and faith in it. And we're here to support you as much as we can.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to add?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Joan, you have any questions?
Well, I'm just working on getting my nerves to work better with my legs. And, so I've been using nerve injuries on Fast Start. It doesn't seem to really be helping a lot. But so I've only been doing it for like 2 weeks.
Okay.
My husband had excellent results with his nerve damage. He has a lot of nerve damage, and they're all entangled now throughout his body and pelvis where he had bone growth. So there's not a lot he could do to fix them. We found it did a lot for regenerating them, and he doesn't have the nerve pain he did, and he's off the gabapentin altogether. He doesn't need that anymore, and he doesn't get the shocking nerve pains anymore. And that's from the mat.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't have any
okay.
pain, no pain, but I had polio when I was a kid,
Mhm.
a very severe case. And so the main nerves that innervate the muscles were killed off. So then little nerves came in and took care of my muscles so I could walk. And those usually last 15 to 40 years. Well, in my case, they've lasted 8 years.
Wow.
And now they seem to be dying off. And I'm having more weakness in my legs. And I'm trying to reverse that. I'm trying to stimulate the nerves or have new ones grow or something. So I've been using nerve injuries.
Mhm.
And then I don't know what else to use. I mean, I do a lot of other things, but that's the main one for the nerves.
Kathy, what did your husband use?
He alternated. He didn't use just the nerve. He will do high intensity, low intensity. We would do everything. We'd go 10, 25, 50 one day. We'd do 100. He just seemed to shake it up. So most times, like in the morning or whatever, we would just do it on a program that would be on the 25, just one of the fast starts on the 25. And then we would do 100. He would do like it's sensitive. I found we just tried everything. And then all of a sudden there was no pain. So I can't say exactly which one did it.
Yeah, I don't have pain. No pain.
We tried them all. it's like zinging shocks he would get in his nerves. Like you stick your finger in a socket and it's like just a zinger.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Joan,
So I don't know which one
Okay.
exactly helped the nerve pain because we just mixed it up.
Yeah, I just
Maybe
have weakness.
mixing it up
weakness.
was the answer.
Maybe.
Because
Joan,
you presented all kinds of different solutions instead of one repeated solution, Joan.
Well, what I do, I start off with nerve injuries for 8 minutes, then I go to performance for 12 minutes, then I go to obesity, and then I go to urinary incontinence, and then I go back to nerve injuries. So I have 44 minutes, and they're all different frequencies.
you know
And
what?
so I'm getting a whole bunch of different things. But
Yeah.
the
Do you do
weakness
the
hasn't
spot pads?
really, pardon me?
Do you do the smaller pads, the square wave pads too?
No, I, you know what? I haven't found the smaller pads make me feel good. I like the big pad, just the big pad.
Yeah, I was thinking the square wave just on her lower legs to try that, putting it right on the lower legs and seeing.
Or I would do it on her. I would even sit with that pad on the floor with my feet on the floor and then the two little ones on my knee. And I would do both with my hands. That way you're getting all the reflexology points from your hands to in your feet. And then hold the two little ones here, put the bigger
Do a split.
small mat on your feet and do the split mode and use both pads.
And what frequencies?
She knows like.
You can try it. I would do 25 anyway.
Okay.
I would try it at 25. You can even, if you want to do it for like 8 minutes at 25, you can try 8 minutes at 400 if you could do that and see what happens. You can
And
try
how
a couple
about-
days at 25, then maybe do 8 minutes at 400 one day, and then the next day go back to 25. Just alternate it.
And do brain entrainment at the same
Split mode,
time?
run the spot and the square at the same time.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
yeah,
I
the
would
two
log it. I would
little
log
ones.
it, what you did, and if you had any relief, so you
Yeah.
don't have to go back and remember, what did I do? What made me feel good? I had a little like,
As long as
Journal.
you're only doing the square wave and the square wave together, you never want to put it on split mode and do the full body mat at the same time as the triple sawtooth because, connection stable. Yeah. That's going to feel like chaos in the body. It's going to be too much. So either the full body mat on its own or both square wave applicators in split mode is okay. The pad and the spot at the same time is okay.
And do both at the same intensity.
Well, brain.
Yes, same intensity. Otherwise, again, it's kind of havoc. I don't know if my internet looks like it's unstable. The Fast Start program as well, longevity. I don't know if you can hear me, but the longevity program, it goes through all the different intensities, organ clocks, and frequencies. So your body would get that full experience. That might be something. Okay.
Oil.
Yeah.
Always. I'm a certified aromatherapist, so everything every day.
Was there any oils that helped him with nerves that you could recommend?
I'll
to
look that up
Jen?
and I'll post it. Basically, I can't remember what blends I made up. I'll look up on my blends and see if I have anything special that I used, and I'll put Niagara Falls, Ontario.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm so in it.
Canadian. Okay, there's Amanda.
Sorry, guys. This
Is it storming there?
Yeah,
Life in the jungle.
yeah. It's really yeah, it's pretty stormy. The internet's in and out. Okay,
Yeah.
we're gonna go because we
Cool.
have to get back to our land before it gets dark and get the dogs out and everything, and it's pretty stormy. But I'll post this in the chat and we will go from there. and try out our new things. Yeah, we discussed today. Everyone else is frozen.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so we'll talk next
Thank
call how if anything worked, any progress.
Thank you, Kathy, for your.
Here, Amanda, Conrad.
See ya.
Thanks,
All right, bye.
everyone. Okay,
Bye.
see you next time.
Or-
Bye.